really saying? Hey,
I'm saying you keep shit cool, nigga. Everybody's gonna eat. Everybody wanna get this money. Everybody can be happy. We don't have to be on Front Street all the time, baby.
okay, take it easy. Okay, take it easy. Okay, take it easy.
And we're live in the effect. It's your boy Maze as always. What's good? What's good? Got my man
what up?
Clee as always. Up with you, Clee?
Chillin'. What's good? IE 909, Southern
909,
Cali, all that.
951, all that. Whoop de whoop. I got the young homie Vinny Paz with me. What's good with you, dog?
What up?
And then we got Prima as always. He's in the background looking all scared though. You can't see him right now. He got his Nike shirt tucked in with his cowboy boots on and his American flag hat. He don't know where he's going. He don't know what he's doing. That's the Paisa homie, but I'll fuck you up if you fuck with him.
He's making it happen.
He's making it happen. I got Jackbo with us as always, Young Paranoid Films. Check them out on Insta. Check out the Cine Bros reviews. Those shit are popping. I'm gonna have to do a guest spot one time. And he's like, nah, fuck that. I ain't fucking with that shit. Saw Wonder Woman this weekend. That shit was lit, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Holy fuck. Have you seen that shit?
Nah.
Gail Gada. I'm fucking up her name because she's like from somewhere else. And she's an Amazonian princess who was like tailor made for that role. She's fucking gorgeous.
She's
like,
bad.
Holy shit. But now, what's up with you? How was your weekend, bro?
It was pretty good. It
Yeah.
was the school year's turning down, so I was turning up.
Yep, exactly. Got the little 3 months.
Right.
Vinny Paz fighting the bug all weekend. What's up with you? Too much partying? Too much going hard in the paint?
This was my first beer, in like a couple of days, trying to like relax.
You be
Went a little
good,
too hard
man.
on the
You
ranch.
be good. You just gotta hydrate. Go for that run. I'm
Yep.
telling you, go for that run.
That coconut water.
Sweat that shit out. You mean you be
Hop on the
good.
skateboard real quick.
For real, do that shit. Like all that shit. Get some sun. That's the main thing I think.
Yeah.
Get some sun. But everything else for me, I was just chilling. Saw Wonder Woman with the homie Jackboy right here. And then the finals. I mean, it's not over yet, but it's over. Like that shit's looking bad, dog. That's just.
And it's
Not
a
looking
trip
good.
because LeBron is playing some of the most amazing
Ridiculous.
basketball ever, and they
Ridiculous.
still can't get it done.
It's like a fucking Zeus and all these fucking warriors just fighting at him. 300 warriors just fucking him up. Like, there's nothing you could do. KD's fucking mad. Like, he went full heel, full villain. I love it. I was never a big KD fan just because he never had no personality, no swag. Now he's like, fuck you, dunking on your face, threes from way back. Steph Curry's pulling threes from the fucking half court. It's just not even fair. This just fucking dope to watch. But, I mean, if you bet on the Cavs, you're stupid.
It's good teamwork. They're pulling out.
That was a joke. That was the whole point of that joke. What else you been on, man?
Man, chilling.
What's up with the book? When's the book coming out?
We got a few more weeks.
Yeah.
But before the book even comes out, we're gonna have something a little bit more special before that. So
Oh yeah, what's that?
yeah, you stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. And speaking of books, the homie Kev sent a link earlier. 10 books you should be reading as a man. I don't got the list on me because I haven't got to those yet. But the one I have read is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is amazing. That's how I network. That's how we build a team. That's how we make things happen. 4 different people. I got engineer. I got mic, sound, video. I got the brains. I mean, I know how to network. I know that's my gift of gab. I know how to do that. So that's something that's very beneficial for me. So another book on there that I did notice I haven't read, which I do talk a lot about, or I've talked to Vince about, is the 40 Laws of Power. What did you grab for that? What did you grab from that? What stuck to you? Because me, like from the How to Win Friends, it's the greatest sound to a person is their own name. So what's up, Clee? How you doing? What's up, Vince? How you doing? And then with a smile, you lure them in. Boom, keeping it cool. So that's always something for me. Like,
You really have about 2 minutes to win someone over.
yeah. It's first impression is the last impression.
Right. Yeah, the 48 Laws of Power. I mean, I don't remember exactly all 48.
Oh, no, but I'm saying the little
what I
tidbits.
got, like the concept of the book was, just to know, like, in a way, I guess you could say, like, know your enemy, even if it's not your enemy. Just know,
Who
what you're
dealing
working with. Yeah, who you're dealing with, and just, act, accordingly with that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How to maneuver through the landscape. Of
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's along the same lines.
Yeah.
But they break a lot of the laws down, or every law
Definitely.
down.
Yeah, the 48 Laws of Power. I think that's a really good, especially for men to read. It tells you how to deal, especially with other men
Yeah.
in the world in different situations. And like one of the ones I really liked was I forget what it's called, but it's talking about you to learn some things you have to be like a kid.
Yeah.
You have
Childlike.
to, yeah, you have to
Be
you have to be
teachable.
dependent on people in order to learn it, because there's certain things that you cannot learn unless you get that concept down.
Yeah.
Because you're so, involved in our adult world, and it has to be this, and you have to break those things in order to get the concepts
Yeah.
down. So that one's really good, and like I think the first one is pretty good too, where it talks about don't outshine the master.
Yeah. So have
Yeah.
a mentor, but don't outshine
That's
the
in
mentor.
that's in the 48 Laws of Power.
But
And there's
that-
also the Art of War.
Okay, yeah.
But that goes through a lot of things, from the art of war to even apprenticeship and this Jedi. Like, there's always like a player-coach relationship. John Wooden, like you want to get the game, you want to soak up all the knowledge and pass the knowledge, but you don't want to outshine the person that put you on. Like, that's bad juju, bad karma. Like a fuck you, pretty much. Like, humble yourself, be humble, dog. Calm down.
Be humble.
Be humble.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with those books are great. That's all I read. Like self-help books a lot. Informative, whether it's sports or a biography. But right now I'm reading Sick in the Head too, the Judd Apatow book, which
Okay.
is super dope. Which is so left side of that. It's just, I thought it was gonna be more about his life, which the intro is, like how he got into comedy, his parents divorcing and all that. But it's pretty much a summary of interviews of comedians. So it starts off with Jerry Seinfeld, Amy Schumer, Adam Sandler, fucking Chris Rock. He talks about why the whole comic community is mad at Eddie Murphy because he doesn't perform no more. Like,
Yeah.
how do you have this talent and are you able to do this thing that you're fucking the best at? And you're like, nah, I'm good. So he said he still hosts fights, like boxing, MMA, and then they just have fucking roast battles, like amongst all comedians and shit. Like, he
That's
says
what's
he
up.
still got the juice, but nobody fucking knows. Like, what the fuck you doing, dog? Raw, delirious. Come on, man, that shit was great. I don't know what you been reading.
One that I'm reading right now is Words on the Move by John McWhorter, and it just talks about like the origins of language and stuff like that. And one of the things that a lot of languages all have in common, that words change. And he talks about like how we have emotions attached to these
Yeah.
words and how we get like offended or almost mad when words change meanings and stuff like that. And he talks about how words go from what I mean to how I feel.
Okay.
So words always follow that transition over time. And then he has like a really good one about euphemisms and dysphemisms, and how we'll make these euphemism words to like not talk about stuff and not really be real about it.
Like beat around the bush about it?
Yeah.
Like
and then-
what?
So, and then that word will end up being like a low term, right?
Like a
so,
smite? Like,
yeah, so one is like welfare.
okay.
Before it was welfare, it was called like health relief or something like that.
Yeah.
Home relief.
Home relief?
Yeah, and then that became like the term. You don't want to have that,
Mm-hmm.
and then they made like welfare, and now it's moving to government assistance.
Yeah,
and
government
now,
aid.
Yeah, and now government assistance is considered
Bad.
bad.
Oh, you're doing bad, dog.
Yeah, so it talks about how words they go through that transition over time when we make those euphemisms, and then over time that ends up being like the curse word or the word that you stay away from.
That's crazy how, like, yeah, that's true. But it's crazy how that's seen, like, is looked down in society from welfare to government aid or food stamps or
And
EBT.
that's only in this country, because there's like other countries where the government, they pay you money to go to school.
Yeah.
They pay you money for vacation and tell you no, you can't work no more, like in Sweden, Switzerland, places
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and there's some people that milk it, so it gets a bad rap. It goes both ways. There's some people who don't work and have their fridge stocked up. I mean, a couple
But
of
that's-
kids. With
but
some
that's
people who
what-
are just bad.
But that's
seeds.
with any government.
Yeah, exactly.
plan. When you have the knowledge, people tend to take advantage of it.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. My mom moved me and my 3 siblings from Denver to California just on the fly. Bad relationship, all bad, move on the fly. But then she came back out here, and we got a house on Section 8 on the block in Rialto. Like, if it wasn't for government assistance, if it wasn't for food stamps, that we wouldn't be able to eat. So firsthand, I know how that shit is. Like, it's crazy, but it gets a bad rap. Like you said, it's bad. Like, man, I'm in between jobs, nigga. Fuck you. I need food stamps, whatever, man. Like,
Free money.
Yeah, like you're getting
Are you
taxed.
not gonna take $300?
Yeah, you're getting taxed for everything. You gotta pay to drive your car. You gotta pay to have a sticker to drive your car
Yeah.
to get your car smog. Which
Nothing's free, man.
Nothing. So
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing's
like
free.
when you actually get a little love back, it's like
Yeah,
Who
and
the fuck
and
are
there's
you?
a lot of things. It's just about the information being out there. I don't know if y'all remember there used to be commercials with the dude with the suit with all the question marks all over it,
Nah.
and he has this book that he will be selling about just government programs, like,
Okay.
stuff like that. So there's government
Yeah.
programs for everything. It's
Okay,
just about how
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you got a certain
If you're
tax
not- if you're
person,
not informed, yeah.
it's all about information.
Right.
People like, oh, I got this tax person. They can write this off, write this off, write this
Yeah.
off.
Oh yeah, there was this guy that like it was a book, like an infomercial, and like he'll tell you like, oh, you're missing out, like so many ways that you could get like different cash out of the government. But I mean, like if it's available for us, like
Why not? Why not use it?
Yeah, these things are put in place for like a reason. Because what happens, like you have like a mayor, government official, somebody that really cares. They put this bill in or whatever, and then the funds go to it. But then
nobody takes it.
or that person gets forgot about for whatever reason. But that bill or whatever, the
still
grant
passed.
money is still in. It's still in there. And then a lot of times that money's just going in that account. Nobody's spending it.
That's what's up. We're talking about generation. We're talking about kids with the fidget spinners now, and with tablets and iPhones, and going away. I don't know. I don't see a lot of kids. We say we don't see a lot of kids outside playing, but I don't see a lot of kids reading anymore. If they are, they're taking information in from a YouTube video of a kid watching a kid, or they're playing little games. Where do you think education is going to that for? Because now, like, I still read here and there, but podcasts, like, I have a specific thing, like, whether it's Joe Rogan with Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, I'm specifically learning some science knowledge, or if it's Jalen and Jacoby, I want to know about the NBA Finals before they come on because I got to bet on them. So, where do you think podcasts or audio is going more in that direction as far as a tool, or do you think it's a distraction?
I think the audio thing, it's it's a catch-22, so it can be a distraction, or people can be using it too much. But at the end of the day, it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
There's some people that can't read, really good. They get frustrated reading stuff like that, or people just don't have the time to read. So like you have companies like Audible, stuff like that, and they even online. So if there's books out of print, you can look online, and a lot of people volunteer and do the audio version of like stuff that's not copyrighted no more. So you can go online and find like a lot of the classics and stuff like that really has like the real knowledge in it. You feel me? You can find a lot of that stuff online.
Audible is great too. You got everything right there. That's why I listened to the Audible. I never read it. That was on my iPhone, just audio books. Boop, 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 boop.
Right.
And I'm on the whip. How do you gather knowledge? You more hands-on reading, instructions, touching something, or listening to something?
Well, I've always had a computer like since I was young, so like I was, very like technological.
savvy?
Yeah, technological, like how I like would absorb my information, but. It all depends what you watch, At the end of the day, we can all go on the internet and we can type in something, and it just at the end of the day, it's either knowledgeable or it's distracting.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing too. Do I need to learn how to make this table, or am I gonna watch Raider highlights or something? I don't know. so you gotta know what the fuck you're trying to do.
But that is like the good thing, because anything that you want to do, you can figure out a way online. Like there's a lot of people that put tutorials, or even if they don't, a lot of people just have their accounts of what they did. So like, with your car, you can go online. So before you go to the dealership, like
you can learn anything online.
Yeah, sometimes we feel like the dealership takes advantage of us and stuff like that. You can go online, you can
double check.
You can see if other people have kind of had these same problems with their car and stuff like that, so you don't go in blind.
Yeah.
And then anything that you want to learn, even if you don't find a course for it or something like that, you can kind of find the little bit that you need to get started.
You can learn the gist of something and then go from there.
You'll find out what's gonna do. What do you look for in a podcast, or what do you what is something that you? Because I'm on a binge right now. Like that's all I do. Like I know you're talking about Rick and Morty, but for me, podcast is like. Especially because I love stand-up comedy so much, so that's why I listen to Joe Rogan. Joey D is probably like my favorite podcast because he reminds me of my dad or like my uncle, just raw, talking about fucking doing drugs and beating people up or getting dumped or fucking losing their kid through a custody battle. Like it's just raw, you know what I mean? So and then it's funny. And then on the flip side, there's someone like Snoop who does the GGN on YouTube, and he has like fucking Ray Strammer and Yachty and Rick Ross and 50 Cent like. And it's Snoop, like, and he's fucking smoking weed. He has his own show, and he's advertising Adidas and G-Pens, and it's like, it's our shit now. Like the song Hollywood Divorce. Like you got to come over here and get this.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's
we started as a hood thing. Like this is still dope, but you got to come get it over here.
Yeah, the podcast game is definitely dope. I've been on it for for a few years, and I listen to like a very wide variety of podcasts. So, and I don't listen to every one. That's what I like about podcasts. You can pick.
You can pick it on demand. It's on demand. Whatever you want. If you don't like that guest, oh well.
Yeah, so I go through the read the description and stuff like that. So I listen to like a few comedy ones, the same ones as you, and Bill Burr.
Yeah. Bill Burr,
Charlie Murphy had one. It was so dope, man. You can still go get the archives for the episodes on that.
Okay.
Joy Diaz, Joe Rogan. Then I listen to like informational. I listened to one called Sword and Scale. This was pretty crazy. They do accounts of just different things. Like the one I was listening to today was about like a boy, he got kidnapped, and it was about like the police department just being very incompetent in the case and stuff like that. I listened to a few of them on language, like I'm writing this book about hip hop.
Yeah.
So I listened to like the dude Jim McWhorter that wrote the book I was talking about, how language moves. He's on one called Slate. So I listened to that one. I listened to one called Illusionist, and these are all like linguistical. They talk about like it'll just be a word, and the whole episode is about that word, those types of words and stuff like that. And then I listened to like a lot of the hip hop ones. Joe Budden. Listen to Brilliant
I told you don't disrespect.
Brilliant Idiots.
Talking about Joe Budden in my house, dog.
All like Brilliant Idiots. That's a pretty good one. Free Tax Stone. That was like a really, really dope podcast. So I just listen to a wide variety, and I just think it's like a really good medium for whatever people need to get out there, because there's no limits to it.
Nah.
It could be audio, it could be video, it could be episodes could be 5 minutes. Episodes could be like Joe Rogan, straight 3 hours.
Yeah. And like that too, even like there's guests on that I like. Oh, I could listen to an hour. I could listen 30 minutes and then pick back up. I don't have to sit there and just be like, the whole thing. That's with the iPhone, with technology, everything just tailor made now. Like I don't know, man. People say these are bad times. I think these are the best times ever. I got fucking Paid in Full over here. I got Joe Rogan podcast on my phone. I got fucking
podcast is the wave. That's why it's
I got Apple Music. I got Apple Music bumping in the back. Like
you're starting to see now, like when people promote their things, they hit the podcast run now.
Yeah.
It used to be you would hit all the radio shows. So if you're doing hip hop, you was hitting Power 106.
Like Bill Burr with his new show. He's on every podcast promoting the new show.
He was on
for F is for Family.
Joe Rogan the other day.
Yep.
Like if you're doing hip hop, you go hit the the Breakfast Club and Ebro and them. You hit that wave. So it's more about that instead of the hitting TV, hitting the late night shows and all that. So
even like Aziz Ansari for Master of None, his Netflix show, he was on Bill Simmons' podcast, The Podfather. Like that's a sports podcast, but he's still crossing over and like getting more shit out there.
It's just more raw information.
More raw information.
I mean, it's not
unedited.
Like cut. It's not edited.
Nah.
It's just right there. There it is.
Yeah.
Boom.
Definitely.
Yeah, and podcasts seem to be like you can kind of tell there's a lot more like love into it. I think that's why people gravitate.
It's not a job. It's not a fucking. You don't have a quota. You don't have to reach so many viewers. Obviously, you want to get seen, but like if you have a 99.1 slot from 4 to 5 and you ain't getting no listeners, they're gonna put ODM back on there. Like the fuck out of it. We'll give them 2 hours.
And everybody has to tune in at 4 to 5. And the way that the world is now, even if you got a schedule, that's not your schedule. You can work the same hours every day, but every day is going to be different, because this pops up. So, tuning in, that model's old. So, like, all these channels and stuff like that.
Primetime television.
They're dying. Like, we saw it with ESPN.
Yeah.
Fired all them people.
John Clayton, man. I fucking love John Clayton, man. They just cut that fool. What the hell? That fool is the shit.
Yeah, but it's because that model is old.
It is.
Like tuning into
I
TV.
want something when I want it. I don't want to fucking go to.
We have different schedules now.
Yeah.
Like it's not like
It's on the go.
it wasn't before. It was probably like, you got a 9 to 5, and then
Come home from work,
and then you got your thing.
watch TV.
But now some motherfuckers, you work all day, like in the night, in the morning, and you never know, you're doing different things. So and you don't got time to waste.
And everything's constantly changing and evolving all the time. Everyone's trying to like make it better. smaller, faster,
You gotta
whatever,
keep
bigger.
up,
It
yeah.
depends whatever you're doing. Like you gotta keep up with the times. Yeah.
And that's why I appreciate the people who've been fucking with us, because everybody has their routine. Everybody has, if it's a schedule, it's an skewed schedule, but everybody has their thing. So if you're watching Game of Thrones or Fargo or Rick and Morty, and you choose to put us in there with next to Desus and Mero, fuck yeah, I appreciate that. That's dope. Like, people want what they want. I'm watching NFL Network. I'm not trying to watch baseball tonight. Like, I watch what I watch. Like, so I don't know. It's tight when people give you feedback. We appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. Like, it's tight, and they have the range of guests. Like Butler was saying last time, each time we have someone on, like, you take a little something from them, you gain a little more knowledge. Like, that's dope, man.
Oh, man, it's a new wave. Oh yeah, and back to the reading though. One thing I want to tell people: if you want to get some good reading, if you know somebody that's in college, you can use their login, and you can get journals. If you read journals, you can really stay on top of whatever topic you're in, because you're always reading new information. Your professor's not that, they're not that smart.
Yeah.
They just read all your papers.
Yep.
So they get everybody's perspective on things.
And then they can vomit it back on somebody.
And then they write a book.
Oh, that was me.
And then the professor writes a book. And then they know everything. But they just got all y'all papers lined up, and then they got all the topics off of it. But you can go online and you can just, stay on top of like the groundbreaking things, whatever you're in. If you're into health, if you're into space, if you're into archaeology, or whatever it is, stuff that's groundbreaking technology and things like that, you can stay on top of what's new, and you can find all the new discoveries and info that's out, even if it's not, in stone. You can get the results from people's experiments or whatever it may be.
But I think that's how you want to learn, right? You want to exchange information. You want to exchange ideas. You don't just want this book that was in the school library because they said it's for this course. All right, but who tested this theory? Who tested this out? Like, you try something, tell me what result you got, I'll tell you what result I got, and then we can exchange information. I think we should be doing that. Like, it shouldn't just be one Bible or Quran. Sorry if you're religious. It should just be one thing. Like,
and
all these books, all the knowledge, you can't just go to one thing.
It keeps your mind young,
right?
Too, because like you said, when you're reading the book, you're reading the standard of what it is.
You want to break those rules. You want to skew them.
You want to know what's going on that might be challenging those rules.
Yeah. I like challenge. I like push. The fact, we want to have some type of effect on whatever it is, whether it's negative or positive. We say a lot of outlandish shit sometimes. We don't mean to disrespect, but it's just personal view. You mean? You got personal view? Get your own podcast, damn
it.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people that make it don't usually abide by the.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like says, don't fucking play by the rules. Yeah. Work your ass off. Like it's on YouTube, like the 6 rules or something. Don't sleep. Whoever fucking told you like 8 hours sleep is not fucking right. Don't fucking sleep. He said his wall was all like bodybuilders. And his mom thought he was gay, all male bodybuilders. He's like, nah, this is the fuck I'm gonna do. And he did it. He came to America. He fucking doesn't know how to fucking speak. You still can't understand until this day. He's fucking a bodybuilding champion, fucking a movie star, a governor, like the governor, like fuck that, like. And he didn't play by the rules. He's fucking his maid. Like, he's getting in trouble. Like, who cares? You only got one life. You gotta go in, dog. You gotta go in.
Most people that we look at today, we look in history, at that time period, our view of them is not what people were looking at them at that time. Mm-hmm. So even when you go back, like Aristotle and all them type of people thought they were crazy. Yeah. And then they were all like killed or whatever by like their governments and shit like that.
Yeah. But shut them down.
But now all philosophy and all this stuff is based off of the things that they say.
Plato, Aristotle,
they were considered heretics and against the crown and all this shit like that. So.
But there's always some type of course in history. There's always been some type of
different belief.
Yeah, but one belief, like this is society. But if you have a different belief out here, you're bad.
Right.
When you're just trying to find knowledge, you're just trying to say.
Yeah, there's always been an in crowd.
Like
there's always been an in crowd
in every society. Yeah.
And when you stay in this in crowd, everything is good. But then when you go against it,
get smoked.
It's like the mob.
Yeah, the royal fucking mob. Like
shout out to Robin Hood.
Hey, for real. Like the U.S. itself. Like we always think we're like. Like we think we're the Avengers when we're the fucking First Order. Like,
what's the nigga's name? George Washington. They were considered like rebels to the Queen.
Yeah,
like at that time they were considered going against the Queen and England and all that type of stuff. So,
like in the movie Spotlight, it takes place in Boston, and there was like 130 something churches, and like 90 of them were all like pedophiles, registered sex offenders. And they talk about who's going to say no to God, and they don't prey on the big kids. They don't prey on the kid that comes from a 2-parent home. They prey on the single parent mother who the kid has to be at church because the mom's working or whatever. And then that's a dominant male figure within the community at the church. You're at church. You're there to fucking serve or worship somebody, and this person bringing you to the back and saying, "Trust me, you want to be like." It's fucking it's scary, man.
Dude, that's like that's one of my biggest like gripes against religion.
Yeah,
like we do know all the good things that it brings, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of like unanswered questions.
Yeah,
right.
You feel me?
Have you guys heard of Pizzagate?
Yeah, with the pedophilia, like they would tell one thing would mean a certain gender or a certain person. Like
there was code words and all that.
Yeah, go ahead and elaborate.
But there was actually someone who got sent to jail and is doing life and is actually a politician. You can look it up. So it was real. They did find someone like the emails and stuff like that, and they like justice is being served right now. Like, and it's pretty crazy. Like to actually hear about it for such a long time, and then finally, like just to like in this day and age for someone to actually get like prosecuted for it is like fuck,
But I feel like that the reason why that is there is because it's always been there, and that's part of the culture.
It's like all back to Alexander the Great.
If you go back to Greek, like the word gymnasium means like naked place for children.
Damn, I did not know that. What the fuck? And then Sandusky.
Yeah. Like, so like fuck, even that word, like that's kind of the gist of what that word means, because they would like
holy
kids
you just blew my fucking mind
while they were like out there like teaching them and stuff like that. And then even like if you go to like Rome, they're like what they thought of sexuality is different than us. So like they didn't have like gay and all that type of stuff. It was just about who's the aggressor.
Okay, the dominance.
Yeah, the dominance in it. So it was like
like very
a prominent man has a wife. He fucks like little boys and then like
a little girl or something.
Yeah, and then any man to make him like subjugated from him, you bone that nigga or whatever.
Oh, you built up your status?
Yeah. So like if you're the king,
I fuck the king.
Yeah, I'm the kingpin. So like I fuck everybody.
Yeah,
even the dudes. Like that was their culture.
Yeah,
that's Roman culture. And you got to think about like. It's not like the Romans died; they're just called nigga the British or whatever. Like these are the same people. Like
and don't forget that's where Christianity comes from.
Christianity was made. That was a religion that they made to appease the Hebrews at the time. Because if you look back in the history, those people were called Hebrews back then. And then they made Christianity legal in like Rome. Yeah. Or the first country I believe was Armenia. And then Rome was the second, country or empire or whatever to legalize Christianity. But they took a lot of those people's original cultures away from. They said, if y'all gonna be Christians, y'all gotta do it this way.
Okay. And that's when they set up shop.
Yeah, and it was actually called Christendom, and that's when they changed. That's when they started writing down the Bible, and they started like taking books out of the Bible and changing stuff like
altering words or meanings and stuff.
Yeah, and changing like the history because
it's like a big game of telephone. Remember the game Telephone as a kid?
Yeah.
I'll tell a story, tell Jesse, tell the Preem, tell you.
By the time it gets to me,
it's a different story. Like so many, a king was involved. His editors were involved. They edited it. They pre-screened it, and then by the time I got back,
and at the end of the day, you gotta like the person that's writing it for the king. You can't piss off the king, so you gotta elaborate. So even when we look at old pictures of old kings and like the royalty and stuff like that, when the dude was painting them, the king was like, "Hey man,
he was embellishing.
Hey man, put my belly in, homie."
He was embellishing.
Yeah. So
he was hooking them up.
So our images of these people are not even
they're
the real
skewed.
picture.
That Photoshop.
Yeah, exactly. Photoshop. Literally Photoshop at the time. Like, I got a 6-pack actually.
Yeah.
Photoshop been here. Like everything that you think that we do today, people always did that.
Always.
Oh, there's nothing new under the sun for sure.
So like a lot of stuff that people have access today, only the royalty and the kings had that. Yeah. So like wigs. Back to the old days, like so like wigs.
Even certain foods, like
wigs were actually worn by the males. They're actually worn by the kings and stuff like that. High heels.
Those were men with their chaps.
That's why they show like in the movie 300. I forget his name, Xerxes.
Yeah,
and the way he's dressed, is just he's very manly, but the way he dresses feminine in a way. Yeah,
he's touching you like feminine. Yeah, but he's like, oh fuck you.
He's like, I'm about to fuck that ass.
Yeah, you feel the bass in his voice. You mean like so the dominance is still there.
It's there.
That's the main thing. Like I don't know. This is crazy. Religion is a crazy thing because even with like Scientology, people only talk shit now because it's new. Like their guy's name was Ron. Like
but it's the same thing. Like when these people they
buy in.
Unfortunately they buy in. Like today I was listening to the dude. He was talking about Heaven's Gate cult. I don't know if y'all remember them. Those people that said they were going to catch the ride on Hell Bop. Comment. And they had the purple and all that type of stuff. And even back in the day, back to Jonestown, like there's this dude had a church in America, and then they all moved to Belize, and he said, all these people cleared out their bank accounts and all this type of stuff, and he said we're gonna live in paradise and we're gonna get away from the government. People have always done this. Like if you guys have ever seen the other one where the people live next to the drug cartels, the Mormons.
Oh yeah.
People have always been persecuted by the governments, and then they go move somewhere else and stuff like that. And people, when you're feeling oppressed, if somebody says they got the answer,
you gotta click up.
You're like, hey.
You gotta click up. That's how gangs were formed in California, because you're outcast. You're not one of the people, so you gotta click up. You're in the wrong neighborhood. That's Tukey Williams.
It's for protection. Like if you watch Gangs of New York, that's how
the mob.
The mob. That's how the Black Panthers actually started. They were security because the police was beating the shit out of black folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just minorities. They had it up to here. It started off as something as protection, and then just like everything else, it goes pop. It gets too much. It goes too much. It goes too far. Yeah. For initiation, goes to jumping somebody to you got to smoke an innocent person or whatever. Like it's always not enough. It's always not enough, and then you only see like the glorified part. But I grew up in a gang family. Like you don't see, like Pimp C said, you don't have the conversation on the phone. Like that's not in the rap videos. Talking to your wife and your kid on the phone, like that's not the glamorized part. It's always like the macho man, the fucking blood in, blood out, the fucking kill all. Like you don't get the bad with it, man. Yeah. There's two sides to everything.
But it's part of like, unfortunately, the thing that we call America and stuff like that kind of takes you away from certain things, or splits up families and relationships, and kind of makes you have like not so good things with the people around you.
I think it makes you pick sides, and then when you pick sides, once you say I'm this, you're saying fuck that over there. That goes religion, politics,
and we actually
workplace.
We actually kind of like learn that from the jump from religion.
Yeah,
like even today, like if you live in America, even if you don't call yourself a Christian, the way that our society is built, you're a Christian.
Yeah,
right.
So if I say, "Damn, nigga, it's hot as hell in here," for that to make sense, you have to believe.
You have to believe in hell
and stuff like that. Yeah. It has to make sense.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the religion it molds the thing around you, even if you don't necessarily practice it.
It's crazy for me too.
Even goes in the like Middle East, like the news are trying to tell you that all those people over there are Muslim and stuff like that, but most of those people don't even practice that religion. A lot of those people they don't even speak Arabic.
Yeah, they're just people.
They speak other languages and
We're
stuff
just
like
so
that. They practice other things.
Isn't it illegal to be like a Christian in like China or like something like that? Like
there's certain places,
Asia or somewhere.
You can't be having your views a radical view.
But I know that they have like underground like
churches,
clubs, churches and stuff for like a lot of. I don't know. I'm not too sure like Japanese, Chinese, but it's one of those, and like you can't be Christian.
There are good things to religion. There are good things. There are good people that come out of it. I grew up in a Christian church, so I remember I went to the Rock a lot in the Dino, but then a lot of time with Victory Outreach, it's a lot of reformed gangsters. So someone who they said two things in jail: you either fucking get killed or you find God. Like that's what you do. A lot of people, my brother, God bless you. Like you did time, huh? So like a lot of reformed gangsters went to Victory Outreach from the Dino to Almani to Whittier to East LA. Like this is a known church. So they used to set up shop in people's houses. Someone was announced a pastor, and then we'll do church in their garage. Like I remember doing this in Fontana by Fontana Middle. Like I've been to Almani, been to churches right there. Like it's crazy. So there is good things, but people always are going to click up to fight for their beliefs. That's a good thing. It's a bad thing. I don't know. Like this is me right here.
That's what makes humans different than every other animal is our ability to come together for a greater cause.
Stand for something.
That young moral compass.
Yeah. But that's the thing too.
But some people don't have it.
Oh yeah, that like so. I, as a kid, ever since I was a kid, everybody would pray, and I look around and have their heads down, they're praying. I'm like, what the fuck are these people? They're just telling you what to do. Like, say what I say when I say it. Like, and they're doing these prayers, But it don't matter if it's a Christian church or it's a metal show or it's a hip hop show. Whenever a group of people get around and put their mind on the same thing, you feel magic. You feel good. You feel something.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an energy in there.
So that energy is like, is it real or is just everybody's here believing in that same little thing?
Sometimes
energy is definitely
yeah.
Sometimes it's just a production, and then the offering plate comes out.
Yeah.
Everybody put in the.
That always fucked me up too. I always tell my mom.
Yeah.
My mom gets a W-2 like it's for fucking tithing offerings in the Christian Bible. It's 10% of your income that you give, and she writes it off and she fucking gives religious. My mom kicked me out of the house before she'll fucking put her Bible up, dog. My mom don't fuck around, like.
Dude, definitely, like.
We fight till this day. We fight about that. Like,
religion is, a big part of a lot of people's life. I believe the Catholic Church is the largest landowner in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, if they put all their land together, it would be like the largest country.
But she believes you can't tell her nothing.
If y'all didn't watch the whole Godfather series, if y'all watched every movie, Anthony's whole thing is, hey baby, I'm gonna make my dad's business legal. Every movie, right? I'm gonna make it legal. I'm gonna make it legal. I'm gonna make it legal. And then at the end, when he tries to make it legal, he ends up getting the thing through the church, through the Catholic Church. He ends up being the owner of all the property and the land and stuff like that. And he's like, damn, these niggas is crooked too.
We talked about that shit. T.D. Jakes, Joyce Meyer, Joe Osteen, like these fools have mansions. This fool Joe Osteen's doing the fucking Cowboy Stadium. Like that's crazy. He did the Anaheim, the Angel Stadium. He did the Staples Center. It's like these people are their own celebrities or their own entities within the religion. Like
there's one around. There's one around here. Like there's really good people that go to this church. But there's one over here in Rancho. I'm not gonna say the name.
Abundant Living.
But there's a lot of people that.
No, that's a good church. It's a black church, but there's the pastor's Mexican. Shout out to the pastor. No?
There's a lot of people
that really big one on the corner.
Yeah, but it's like like Chili's. It's on Foothill.
But it's kind of like a status.
Yeah,
thing if you go to that church.
It is.
It's kind of a status.
Now, put on Abundant Living in Rancho. Put them on.
Good.
Hey, I'm not against it. Like I said, I read the Bible. I got Joel Osteen books. I give my mom Joyce Meyer books like 2 times a year. Like I get game from everywhere. I'm not opposed to it. Well, cut the shit. Just cut the shit. What are you doing? You know what you're doing. And I mean,
dude,
but like you said, status. It feels weird. Like back to the whole Victor Outreach, the Rock Church thing. Like one was Mexican. The Rock was like predominantly more upscale. My dad would be uncomfortable. Like, nah, I'm gonna stay home. I don't want to go to that church. I want to go where the homies are at. Because you're comfortable, dude. With Abundant Living, it's more of a predominantly black church, but the pastor's Mexican, so it adds something.
Well, everybody have more in common.
Yeah,
but I remember when it wasn't even that church though. They used to have like a smaller one. It was a smaller one because that's a pretty new building.
Well, that's how the Rock started in the warehouse.
But now they got like a school there and all that type of stuff.
When the shooting happened on Waterman, our church, the Rock housed them. Like they brought them, they sent people to Costco, got waters and everything. That shit was right there. It's right there on Waterman. Once you get off on the right, where that club used to be, it's on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, most definitely. Like you said, the church at the end of the day. One thing that they do that a lot of people don't do, they feed the homeless. They feed people.
I used to work in the what do you call it? The food giveaway. It's not called a food giveaway. What the fuck is it called, man?
That's something.
Yeah, but it was they food for less. Stater Brothers, Ralph's. They give you food that's
like
about
a food drive.
Food bank. A food bank. So as a kid, I was there every weekend. We would package up pre-made bags for the homeless. A bus from the Rock would go pick up everybody up that wants to go to service, and then we would give them out. And then I would make the bags. I would give them to people, and then the older couples or the older women, I would carry the bags to the car. Oh, thank you, honey. Like, so they are doing good. Like, so they are doing something.
Right.
But there's still like a layer on top of that.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of like
there's still a fucking secret cult
for them to stay. For them to kind of stay like in business or whatever you want to call it. They have to keep certain standards and stuff like that.
So that was give just 10%.
So that was. But no, they're like I forgot the number, but they're a nonprofit.
Yeah, nonprofit. It's not even
801(c)(3).
It's
like that.
Even the tithing and offering basket. It's not even discreet. It's like we have like $5 million left on the lease. We're trying to hit this number. We send the youth to camp. My mom graduated from a teaching camp there. My uncle's a pastor there. I got other uncles who are ushers. Like people feel
'cause
a part of something.
Yeah, because the church of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
You got somebody that mails this out. You got like
At the end of the day, yeah.
yeah, because like I DJ for a lot of the churches out here, and the way that they work, you know, they got somebody that you know, the people that are shut in. They got somebody that's going to their door every day for offering or giving them tapes or the CDs of the service for that week or stuff like that. So they have like, and then, you know, you got, like you said, they got something on Monday, they got something on Tuesday.
Every day.
They got something like that. And,
Bible study
and
Monday.
people are working, doing these, whatever, study groups, whatever it may be. So, and these people got to be paid at the end of the day. So it is a you know, it is a business, and it has to stay in business. I've always just had my gripes with, you know, certain questions that I've asked that haven't been answered, if that makes sense.
What are those specific questions? Because me as a kid, like I said, I grew up in it, so I always like rebelled. So me was like, where are the dinosaurs in the Bible?
Yeah, so
we got fossils, we got evidence. Where they're in the Bible, they're not mentioned. It said they are in Ephesians, that they have big creatures or whatever, but it doesn't say distinctly that they are. So I always question that. And then the whole Adam and Eve, multiple. Are we all inbred?
I know. Like, I wasn't comfortable with stuff like that. One of my biggest things was,
this is me as a middle schooler, high school kid.
Growing up, like a lot of people, like, you know, there's a tribute say a lot of stuff from the Old Testament, but a lot of people are, you know, mostly on the New Testament with the whole Jesus stuff, like Jesus thing. Mm-hmm. So growing up, I remember they would say like Jesus is a Jew, and Jews are the chosen people and stuff like that. So I used to be like, why are we doing this Christian shit?
Yeah.
Why are we not doing the Jew shit?
Yeah.
You know, if we're supposed to be being like Jesus and stuff like that, why are we doing this Christian thing? That never made sense to me. And then, like, you know, after, you know, when you really read the Bible and you start to see the people's culture, you start to see who they are. And then when you look at the landscape of what things are today, so you have people that are called Jewish. Yeah. But then you go, are these the people that are in the Bible? You know, are these the same people? Yeah. Because these are Europeans, these are Germans. They speak I forgot the name of the language, but they use Hebrew letters. They speak Yiddish. So Yiddish is actually a German language, but they're using the Hebrew characters to spell out the words. Okay. You feel me?
So this is a combination.
Yeah, so they're not really speaking like the Hebrew, you know, or
like the original.
Yeah, the stuff. So I used to be like, are these the same people that are there? You know, I used to be like, you know, today we have a country called Israel. You feel me? And then in the Bible, there's an Israel. So I used to be like, is this the same Israel? Yeah. Because if you go back...
Well, isn't that supposed to be like the Holy Ground?
Yeah, but when you go back, that place wasn't called Israel. It was called Palestine. That whole place was Palestine. So how today, people don't know that. People think Palestine is just this little part. But that whole thing used to be called Palestine. So it's like, how did y'all get this Israel part from the Palestine people? You feel me? And then even before that, the people... That was called Canaan. Before it was called Palestine and Israel. You know, so it's like, where are the Canaanites? Where are those people at?
Exactly.
Right? Did y'all kick them out?
Did y'all slaughter them too?
Yeah. So like, I just always had just like a lot of questions about the Bible, and then like, you know, a lot of stuff that you read is like fantastical, but then when you start seeing that the Bible's more of a parable. So like a fable is a story that's using animal characters to give you like a lesson,
a point at the end.
But a parable is using humans. To give you the thing. So when you start looking at the parable aspect, you start looking at the allegory and stuff like that. Then you start really having questions. Because like one thing when I do look at the Bible, there's a lot of science in the Bible. Yep. There's a lot of like code words. There's like a lot of like today we have names, but names used to really, really kind of mean something. Mm-hmm. So like the names that they choose for certain characters in the Bible kind of sum up that
character. There's a personification.
Yeah, so you look at that name, you're like, why'd they get that name? And you're like, why'd they change it?
Yeah.
Like Abraham, Malachi.
You guys ever seen the Da Vinci Code?
Yeah.
It kind of like almost breaks it down a little bit.
That's just crazy. With the V, the upside down, was it a woman?
Right.
Like, was the Almighty being a woman because she gives life?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of V between the 12 men, the 12 disciples.
And there's like a lot of like theories about that. So like, you know, I'm under the school of the study that you know, I'll say it on camera, but you know, Jesus is a made up character. But that character is based off of a true story. Okay. That they kind of cover up in history. That if people knew that actual story, things would be a lot different.
Right.
So one of the biggest things that we learn in history, a lot of times they start at Rome. Mm-hmm. They start with the first emperor, which is Julius Caesar. But then when you look at that history, what is his lineage? You know, if he had kids, what were they supposed to do? So when you look at that time, who was in power before the Romans was actually the Greeks, right?
Yeah.
And Alexandria, which was the capital of Greece, was actually in Egypt, which was in Africa, right?
Okay.
So at the time, that was actually what you would call like the United States. That was like the place that was popping, was like that Egypt area.
That's where we wanted to be.
That's where you wanted to be. That's where all the scholars and all the business and all that stuff was going down.
Philosophers.
Yeah. So who was in charge of that? That was Cleopatra the Seventh.
Yep.
At that time. So if you go back and watch the movie that is made by Elizabeth Taylor.
With her as Cleopatra?
Yeah, Cleopatra. That Cleopatra. So if you watch that movie, she falls in love with Julius Caesar. Mm-hmm. They had a kid.
That was Jesus?
Why is this kid never in history?
Yeah.
Right? So they have a kid. Then they kill Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar had a nephew named Octavian, which changed his name to Augustus. And then that's when they changed like the year and all that. Yeah. That's where we get August and July, which comes from.
Well, even a lot of like the days in the week are very like from Greek and like all those back then. Like,
So
if you look up like who made the days of the week, like it's all like those people. A lot of those people made up a lot of the structure and the system that we kind of still abide by like today. Like,
which rules our daily.
Yeah. So if you like look at this story, she had a kid by Julius Caesar, so that kid would naturally be the king.
The heir of the throne?
Not just Rome. That would be Egypt. That would be pretty much the whole world at that time. Because that was like the Kraken Center. That was like the New York City.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But they kill him and they make the nephew because it needs to be a Roman. It can't be... Or no, they didn't kill the son yet. They didn't kill the son yet. So they made Octavian, which changed his name to Augustus, the new emperor. Then she has 3 kids by the other nigga, Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
She did. She had 2 kids, right? So she had a kid by him, and then 2 of them was twins, right? So if you go and look at like the old story, they did something called the Donations of Alexandria, and that's when Cleopatra and Mark Anthony came out, and they had all 3 of the kids, and they had them dressed up, and they said this kid is in charge of this part of the world, this kid is in charge of this part of the world. And Rome and Greece at this time were fighting and stuff like that, and they were trying to kill the kids and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But when you read the Bible, like Jesus has like this missing time and stuff like that.
He went from like a kid to a teen to a carpenter. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like part of that story. So or real quick to sum it up, when you go back and go to the name, so like Thomas, he's called Doubting Thomas. And the old name is Didymus, which means twin. And like I said, she had twins by Mark Anthony. And the other one is Cleopatra. Or they named her something Cleopatra, but if you look in the Bible, they refer to her as Mary of Cleopas. So you can like see like a lot of little clues that they left in the Bible.
Attached. They all fit. Like you're talking about with nature.
It's an
they
agenda.
all fit, yeah. So before we get out of here, let me ask you something, Vince. For me, like I said, my mom was a Christian. She will die for that shit. I grew up in a Christian church, but my dad was a gangster, alcoholic till he died, and he fucked with drugs. So I always knew right from wrong. I always knew what was acceptable, what was unacceptable, whether it was biblical or just human nature. Where did you gather your moral compass? Because our upbringing was completely different. You were more solitude, more learn on your own. Where did that come from? Because I believe in you as a stand-up guy. You know what's up. You educate yourself. You look for knowledge. Does that just come from your grandma putting that on you, or the hunger from knowledge within?
It was just the will to like want to learn. You know, like when I was really young, like I was like very bad. You know. And then I actually, marijuana actually saved my life, to be honest with you guys. You know what I'm saying?
It does to a lot of people, man.
I was drinking a lot, and, you know, I was trying to fill like a void, you know, in my life.
Fit in.
Yeah, you know. And then I started picking up weed, and that's when me and my grandma actually had a better connection. Yeah. That's when I started asking questions, getting curious in life.
caring about
and
her.
That also, and like being alone, not having either parents in my life, like is just like will make you want to like know like more things. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be like my own man.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
like stuff like a lot of like why. You know, so I'm here on my own, and you know, I'm blessed to have all you guys here, obviously. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm alone.
That's why I want to know how people work. I want to know how you work. Like
I literally, if I'm interested in it and I have the will to learn it and I want to learn it, I will. Yeah. And that's what. And I really just, like I said, I had a computer when I was young, and I would go on there to, if I had questions, I'd fucking type it in, and then here it'd pop up. You know, there's a deep web also, and it gets very dark. And if you can tap into that, you can get a lot of really good information about life, and you can. And I've sat like in front of my computer for many hours. Let me tell you, dude, like just downloading a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's the way Salvin is too. Salvin fucking.
Well, I put Salvin up on game. If you ask Salvin who like his sensei is, he like what's up, sensei, all the time, man.
Because even
shout out Salvin.
When I used to go to McKay's house, Salvin's internet icon was the world's greatest resource. It wasn't Google Firefox, but that's what he edited it as, the world's greatest resource. So that was right there, YouTube.
Yeah.
But hey, thanks for coming on today. Before we get out of here, go ahead and give me your ads, your Insta, your snaps, and all that.
Well, I don't have a Twitter right now. My Instagram is Sephiroth10. It's actually like a Jewish thing about like so yeah, SEPHIROT and then the number 10, because I mean we all know 10 is the master number here. So
put them up. We gotta put them up. Put them up on game.
But yeah, man.
Your snap?
My snap is the same thing. Sephiroth10.
All right.
SEPHIROT and then the number 10.
All right. Appreciate everybody for fucking with us. Had you take it down the rabbit hole today. We'll be back again on Monday. This will be out by Wednesday. I love you. Dab, dab, dab for Pigman in the back. And then we out.
On the road to success, one thing is true. There's only one rule, gotta get paid in full. All I need is the money and the love of my crew. Stay true, I'm just trying to get paid in full. On the road to success, one thing is true. There's only one rule, gotta get paid in full. All I need is the money and the love of my crew. Stay true, I'm just trying to get paid in full.